Run to the boulder.
I am pushing that sucker up the hill. Welcome to overtime. We're doing. Are we going to go right to the championship game?
No, we got the super chats we didn't get to.
Oh, okay. More super chats.
We got more we didn't finish.
Okay.
Oh, we was cooking.
This is public. We had some good ones, so I didn't want to rush through them.
Okay,
but,
good.
Next super chat comes from DBDog21, who says, as a former cornerback, we generally treat the patting of the ball, when we talk about Shedeur, like we treat the quarterback's eyes. Don't trust him. It's more important to track the ball after the release. Trying to read the pat will get you embarrassed. Shedeur or Hunter, let's go.
I like what you just said because it's almost like as a defensive lineman, me looking at the quarterback and being like, yeah, he about to pump fake. And every time a quarterback pump fakes, what do defensive linemen do?
They bite.
They jump.
Yep.
Bro, just get to the quarterback.
Yeah,
That is not the objective.
Because when you leave your feet,
it's done. Why? You can't. Guys are too good at that level. Like, first of all, they have the arm to pat and still get it there. And you're like, dang, he put that boy on the money.
Yeah.
You can get embarrassed.
Next one comes from, this is from, I guess, DBDog21 again. Yes, DBDog. So when we ended the stream, we had to copy them into teams, so it looks different, so it's not. But this is also from DBDog21,
Okay.
who says, what if the Browns take Milroe at 2? Thoughts?
No. That's an overreach. That's a mistake.
Under no circumstances. I told you the three people. Even I would take Abdul Carter at that point over Jalen Milroe. No, we can't do that. I need somebody that's going to be good, period.
But that goes back to, like, you got to have a quarterback. Take a quarterback. All right, well, then that's why it drives me crazy of you got to have a quarterback. Just take a quarterback. It depends on who the quarterback is that's there and if you like him or not.
They got to be in the neighborhood. They can't just be like, I don't know. Maybe you had a conversation.
Now let's go back to 2018. Should the Browns have taken Lamar Jackson?
Yes.
But at the time, nobody.
No.
Should the Cavs have taken Giannis over Anthony Bennett?
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
Of course. But at the time,
hindsight's 2020.
Nobody would have ever thought
But
that.
they had two. I mean, they didn't completely swing and miss. And Baker's good, but he wasn't on their team no more.
Lamar's better.
And Josh Allen's better.
Yeah.
You have to take those two.
I always harken back to my buddy Ron Jaworski always used to use this. He goes, well, you can say that now that we have the benefit of the results.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, the results is there.
History will rewrite a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And you have to, listen, that's why I'm a firm believer. Take everybody's opinion out of it. You just got to stand on what you think. They pay you the money. You got to go up there with the card and say, this is my dude.
Is this it? If this regime
Yes.
gets this wrong.
I don't even know what the question is. The answer is yes.
Yeah. I think for sure Andrew Berry. I think that Kevin Stefanski could survive another really disappointing season. I don't think Andrew Berry can. I mean, he's on the clock with a lot of his picks, and we'll have another year to judge all of his past picks.
And I'm going to say this right now. If you take Travis Hunter, you must invest in Travis Hunter as if he was a quarterback, which means you have to let him play whatever he wants. I'm not limiting those. Don't give me he playing 4 snaps on defense. Oh, no.
Well, doesn't he want to play defense?
Yes. I need him playing a significant role. And what I mean significant is, hey, we need to get him the ball. We need to figure out something. He can't be a number 2 pick, and you just have him playing a couple of snaps either way.
He's a cheat code. That's the whole point of taking him.
That's the whole point of taking him.
Yeah, if he was just a wide receiver, he's not number 2.
No.
If he was just a corner, he's not number 2.
No.
The reason he's projected at number 2 is because he's the cheat code. He's a hybrid.
Got to use him. If you're not going to use him, draft the defensive lineman
and
win
do
4
think that
games.
the Browns would be very open to using him. That's why you're taking him there.
Right. You can't.
If not, take Abdul Carter.
Right. Invest in whoever you got, I want to see him.
Yep. Next one comes from Mr. 216, who says, it's crazy to me that now people are talking about quarterbacks who weren't crap a month ago are now considered first-round picks. This is the definition of silly season. Come on, guys. You're better than this.
No.
Wait, who are we talking about? Who's he referring to?
I think he's talking about Milroe and potentially Dart, Tyler Shook.
And we're saying that they're crap?
I think I'm gonna put his super chat through the decoder.
Yeah.
I think he's saying we've heard all this time about this being a weak quarterback class, and now they're being talked about as first round picks. So can I give an answer first?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can.
And once again, I'm hoping I'm understanding Mr. 216 super chat properly. You don't have to be a good quarterback to be taken in the first round.
No,
you don't need a good quarterback prospect to be taken in the first round.
And that goes to my point. My point is, every year there's going to be 4 to 6 quarterbacks that are first-round picks. And so if these 4 or 6 were in last year's draft, would they be first-rounders? Most of them would not, because it's a ranking. It's a pecking order. You're putting them in an order. And what everybody has said since the beginning of last college football season, really the end of last year's draft, is that we are going to enter into a year of a bad quarterback draft. There's not going to be the stars in next year's draft that there was in this year's draft. Time will tell that, whether or not that's true. But I think that the general narrative is, like Bull always says, it's groupthink. Yeah, groupthink is a very big part of all of this. When one general manager whispers to another general manager that they're really concerned about this running back's size, and then he tells 2 other general managers, then a reporter finds out that I'm hearing from a lot of general managers that this guy's undersized. Now we've got a narrative, and then a lot of people read that and jump on that narrative, and we have groupthink.
Here's the way I think of it. I think of quarterbacks as inelastic goods. Like, if you're hooked on tobacco or you're hooked on cigarettes, it doesn't matter what the price is. You're going to buy cigarettes. It doesn't matter. Like, if they raise the price.
But in your analogy, that kills you too.
Yes, it does. Right? It's a double-edged sword, right? Too much stuff. But listen, quarterbacks are outside of the economic sphere. It does not matter intrinsically what the personal worth is. The reality is someone's going to pay whatever it is because they are so valuable, and it is essential to your everyday business.
See, I agree that that's the way a lot of people look at it. The way I look at it is this. Are they one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the world? In the world.
9 times out of 10, no. They're not.
And so what's happened is
They're not.
You're valuing a position based on need instead of availability, like the talent pool. Because imagine this for a second. No one's ever thought this way, but imagine that if all 32 quarterbacks were awesome, there was no bad quarterback play in the league. They're just great. It's like everybody's starting pitcher.
Yeah.
They're all just really, really good. Guess what would happen to the value of quarterbacks coming out of college? It would plummet. It's all supply and demand driven.
Yes.
The supply is small, the demand is great, so you get overpaying, overreaching. If in an alternative universe we ever get to a point where there's 50 guys that could be great quarterbacks, now the demand is small, so it doesn't matter what the supply side is.
No, I believe the demand would still stay high. The price of said quarterback would just come down.
Well, absolutely.
If it's just 50 of them, I don't need to pay you. I can go get another dude to pay him half of what you
just talked about the evolution of the running back in the NFL.
There you go.
That's it. Once upon a time, that position was coveted. In the 70s, when the Steelers were doing their thing, they had great running back. They had a great run game. O.J. Simpson, all the Cowboys' great running backs in the 70s, Tony Dorsett, Walter Payton. And then, all of a sudden, a magic wand was waved, and they're like, you know what? We've kind of figured out anybody can do this. And all of a sudden, quarterbacks or running backs fell out of the first round. Now, I think you're seeing a cycle, and I think it's coming back in vogue to draft a running back in the first round if you think he's a difference maker.
But, as long as quarterbacks, because people do overdraft them, there are a lot of misses with quarterbacks, right? So, you get 1 out of 5 in a year.
There's only 32 jobs.
Right. So, look.
Why would we think that the 6 coming out of college this year are the top 32 of all time?
You're just guessing.
You're hoping.
And that too.
Hope isn't a plan.
Yeah, and well, listen, selling hope is a business model, though.
Let me ask you this. Would you put Kirk Cousins right now, knowing what we know about him, is he a top 32 quarterback in the world? I can answer that really quickly.
Is he top 32?
Top 32.
I don't know.
I don't even have to think about that. Of course he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
Look at his experience.
I seen him throw for like 500 yards against the Eagles.
Yeah, so yes, he's a top 32 guy.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Browns, I'm looking at these guys who are all wannabes. They all want to break into that 32-man club, but I got a guy that I could hopefully go out and pull some strings and bring to my team, and I already know he's a top 32. And you know what I'm not thinking if I'm the Browns front office? I'm not thinking about 2026. I got to save my ass now.
Yeah.
I need to win now.
Listen, I already said, I'd take, give me Kirk Cousins, you sign him up.
And get a backup.
I go give me, if I can still go get Milroe, and I could go into a season with Cousins, Milroe, and what's his name?
I'd be fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
I'd be fine with that.
You
All
okay
right,
with
one
that?
last super chat.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, Brody's bottom line says, "Can we get Harold Fannin in the 3rd round? Will he still be there?"
No.
The Bowling Green tight end.
No way, not a chance. He didn't only lead all tight ends. I believe he led all players with receiving yards.
That one kid, kid from
Cash
Penn State.
From San Diego State.
He had more than Fannin? Because I thought Fannin led all of college football in receiving yards.
For tight ends or just in general?
No, everybody. Wide
I'll
receivers.
look it up, but I don't think he
I
did.
know.
I thought, maybe I misremembered that. By the way, I just saw, I got a text that Eddie George just got a quarterback from Missouri.
Also from Notre Dame. He's been around for like 80 years.
What's that?
That guy's been around for like 80 years.
The
Harold
guy
Fannin
from Missouri,
did lead.
it's his 4th team in 6 years.
You are correct, Jay. Harold Fannin had almost 200 more yards receiving than any other player in college football.
How many did he have?
Wow.
1,555.
Think about that. That's astonishing.
And he did it against.
And
He did it at Penn State.
6 of their games full. I watched probably 2 or 3 partial of the others. He was double teamed by everybody.
Yeah, like he was getting.
How big is he?
Big.
Listed at 6'4", 230.
And can run.
Yeah.
And go look at his numbers against Penn State and Texas.
Against Penn
Texas
State,
Tech.
11 catches, 137 yards.
And he was a
touchdown.
headache for them.
Against A&M the
A&M,
very
yeah,
next
I'm
week,
sorry.
8 catches, 145.
And we're talking about obviously Power 5 elite.
And he was a former receiver in high school.
I love this kid.
Yeah, he's
And
not. You're not.
There's not a
slipping him in that
chance
third.
he slips to the 3rd round.
I mean, hang on. Harrison Bryant went in the 4th round, and he won the Mackey Award as the top tight end.
He wasn't nearly as good as Fannin.
I think he's
coming
better.
out.
Saying.
I would have the
If he's there in the
tight end for
3rd
Penn
round
State-
and we don't take him,
tight end for Penn
I'm going to
State, I
become
like
a
him.
janitor for UCSS.
Hey, listen. By the way, how come we can't get? Listen, then, can we go get old boy from the Raiders? What's his name?
Michael Mayer?
Yeah, can we get Michael Mayer? Can we just get him? Like
I don't know.
They got Brock Bowers. They drafted Mayer, I think, in the 2nd round, tight end out of Notre Dame. I like his size. Hey, Stefanski, you gotta start building these tight ends back up.
Oh,
and
you
these
don't have
fullbacks.
to ask him to
No,
build up
yeah.
tight ends. He loves tight ends.
I know. Call your boy. Talk to your boy. Tell him we need to get 2 tight ends and be running this bootleg again.
Now, if we were able to land Fannin, I'd be perfectly
I'd
happy
be
with that.
jumping up and down.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We got Cecil Shorts coming on to talk about the positional value of Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Peace.